Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Reptile Barn. Today I want to talk to you about snake sizes and how much we feed them. I am kind of in the minority in that I do not feed even our breeders or our holdback babies super heavy. I don't find it necessary, and their growth and egg production has just reinforced that feeling in me that it's not necessary. That doesn't mean I feed them light. I hear about breeders. I'm more talking about breeders. When you have a pet snake, it's not necessarily interesting to you to cram as much food as you possibly can into your pet to get him as large as possible, as fast as possible. But many breeders, they're trying to make a living here, and they want their snakes to get big fast and join the breeding groups. And they want their breeders to have as many eggs as possible. So, that being said, I know that many breeders feed their hatchlings, for example, the ones they're going to hold back for themselves, every 3 or 4 days. Or I've heard even more frequently than that. That's crazy. We do not do that. The hatchlings get fed, all the hatchlings get fed, usually every 5 days for a few meals, 4 or 5 meals, to make sure they're going real strong, starting to grow, everything's working well, they've had some bowel movements, and then we move them to once a week. And all the way up through, the juveniles and the smaller adults, once a week. Once they have good size and they look like an adult, they're 1,800 grams, 2,000 grams, then we usually move them, male and female, if the males get that big, because some of them don't. But if they get that big, we move them to once every 2 weeks. We do increase the size of the meal, so it's not like a snake that's eating once every 2 weeks is only getting half as much food, but they're able to eat large meals. I'm not talking like a goat here, obviously, but big old rats mostly. And they do great. They do great for us. This girl right here, she only eats once every 2 weeks, other than 2 key periods during the year, which I'll talk about in a minute. But most of the year she eats once every 2 weeks, one big old meal. And last year she laid 13 eggs for us. All of them were fertile. All of them hatched. It was fantastic. Beautiful clutch of eggs. Nice big eggs too. And she herself, this is a Mojave, by the way. Her name is Sally. We call her Fat Sally because she is a big girl. We just weighed her. She hasn't eaten in a couple weeks, so this isn't just food weight. 4,446 grams. Definitely our biggest snake, although we have a couple others that are pushing it. So she's huge. For those of you who aren't familiar with grams, that's like almost 10 pounds of ball python. That's like 9.8 pounds. That is a big snake for a ball python, obviously. She is super sweet. Her body tone seems perfect to me. She doesn't seem like she's got overweight, fat deposits everywhere that are squishy. She still seems real healthy. This is her heaviest point in the year, which should be noted. She's got follicles developing, but she's still pounding food really well. This is the heaviest she will get during the year. And then obviously the fast begins. Most of our females are already fasting. She's not quite. I think she will probably start here in the next couple weeks. But yeah, she is just huge and eats half as much or a third as much as some of the breeders that really pack on the food are feeding their snakes. They're feeding 2 or 3 rats every week, and they're big old rats, and it just is an incredible amount of food. I do not believe it is necessary. I have some theories. I do not want anyone to think that this is some sort of scientific exact doctrine of ball pythons, but I believe one of the reasons that some eggs come out infertile, we call them slugs, is if the female is a little bit overweight, if she has too much fat on her. The large rats we are feeding these ball pythons are very fatty. In fact, many boas can get sick or even die if they're only eating large rats because the rats are so fatty. The ball pythons do much better with them, but it is a lot of fat in their diet. And I don't know of any scientific studies that have been done on the ball python diet in the wild, so I don't want to say it's more fat than they're naturally getting. I would assume it is, but I don't know that. Regardless, I think that many people feed more to their ball pythons than is necessary. And that is just me. With my few years of experience, I know there's people been doing this for 30 years that would just laugh at me. And that's fine. If they do great the way they're doing it, their animals are healthy and living long lives, I'm perfectly happy with that. But we have not found it necessary to feed them that much. Most of our snakes do go on a winter fast, like many do. Some of them don't, but most of them do. So it's not like they're getting all this growth because they're eating year-round. They're on pretty much the same feed cycle as everyone else's snakes are, but and they're not all this big either. I just wanted to use her as an example because I can prove to you, as you can see, they can get real big not eating as much as some people say. And again, we've had hundreds of eggs laid and maybe 2 slugs, maybe 3 ever. And we don't get many slugs. And I don't know that that's because we don't feed so heavy. That's just a guess of mine, and I have some other theories as well. But I do know that we are extremely happy with our production. Most of our females lay every year. Most of them lay only fertile eggs. And so I'm happy with our production. I don't see a need to change anything. If I notice that a female seems too skinny, like she's just not going to be ready for the breeding season, I won't breed her, and that's okay. So I just wanted to show you Sally here, a nice big Mojave girl. Hopefully will lay us another beautiful clutch again. Get some more blue-eyed Lucies and Mystic Potions and stuff. And other than that, the only other thing I wanted to mention is our babies. We just aren't interested in growing them super fast. It would be nice, but I just personally we let them grow at the same rate as all the ones that are for sale that we just feed once a week. That's how we feed ours, and that's how we've done it for the past couple of years, and it's worked well for us. Sometimes I see a holdback that I wish I could get to breed this next year, and I know at the current rate of growth probably isn't going to. So I do understand where breeders are coming from. I totally understand it, and if it's not unhealthy for the snake, I'm not here saying they're doing anything wrong. But for us, where we're at with our business and with our animals, we are happy with the growth that we get from our babies. And yeah, so there we are. I hope that you enjoyed Sally here. I'll let her go back home. She's probably anxious to go get back. Although she's been cool seeking a lot, so she seems pretty happy to be out exploring. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments on this or any other subject about snakes or reptiles, go ahead and comment down below, or you can always send us an email at thereptilebarn@gmail.com. We're on Facebook. I know my wife does a lot of Pinterest. You can also find us on Instagram. So any of the most of the social media platforms you can find us, and leave us a comment. We try and always get back to you. Thank you for watching. We are the Reptile Barn.